Did his masters from IIT Madras, where he was the gold medalist in physics. Currently, he is a researcher researching on particle cosmology at the Syracuse University of New York. He will be talking about the entire journey of the universe, how it behaves in a certain way, and what are the things that cause it to. Everything from dark energy to dark matter.
Everything starting out in a small region of space, and things have been expanding ever since. And this can actually help us estimate the age of the universe. Then from Hubble's law, we get an estimate of around 13.8 billion years for the age of our universe. If the density of the universe is higher than the critical density, then the universe will collapse. Like I've established so far is that our universe had a beginning. This is a very brief history of the universe. So right after the beginning of the universe, it is believed that our universe went through a phase of rapid expansion in a very short amount of time, what we refer to as inflation. And during inflation, the particles that we see in our everyday life did not exist. They came into existence. And so if you have seen one of these old television sets, whenever the signal went away, the static that you saw was actually the antenna of your television detecting this cosmic microwave background. This picture here, I'm using the black circle to represent the entire universe. It's just representative of the entire universe. And the red circle over here is the observable universe. So what your inflaton field, as long as your inflaton is somewhere on this flat part, inflation is going to happen. And because of a tiny slope on this almost flat part, this inflaton field will be very slowly rolling down. And as soon as it encounters this steep example, you look up into the sky and you want to study the temperature fluctuations on small scales. In that case, you'll be looking up into the sky on a small angle. If you want to study the temperature fluctuations on large scales, in that case, you're going to be looking out at a wider angle. And then what you get is you can plot the amplitude of these temperature fluctuations as a function of the angular scale or the scale on which you observe these fluctuations. You can get estimate for what is the percentage of dark energy, dark matter, and normal matter in our universe. The CMB is a snapshot of the universe when it was some 300,000 years old. And the basic idea behind string theory is that at a fundamental level, everything is stringy. Everything is made up of this finite dimensional strings. Position, momentum uncertainty, there is similar uncertainty for energy and time. And all it's need to come closer. The configuration that minimizes the energy is when these plates are close together. Is the existence of attractive force between these two plates, even though it seems like there is nothing there. It's the quantum vacuum. If you try to bring a bunch of electrons close together, you're going to experience this pressure. They're going to try to get apart. So gravity is also going to be strong. So gravity is going to try to collapse it. Basically, the force that comes from the Pauli acceleration principle is able to balance the force from gravity. Then you can have an object in equilibrium, what you refer to as a white dwarf.
So my question is, can you go back to the slide where you showed that modification of the uncertainty principle, please?
Yes, sure.
The modification of the uncertainty principle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are we going to justify such a procedure?
So yeah, there are actually like several problems, like breaking of the Lorentz invariance is one of the problems with a modification like this. But right now, this has just been like kind of like something that you can do, and you can look at how things change.
Yeah. So you said that you expand this function in terms with the help of Fourier series, but aren't you dealing with 2D spherical surface? So shouldn't you use something like a spherical harmonic expansion rather than a Fourier expansion?
Yep, that's a very good question. So when we treat these fluctuations in the early universe, we don't really think of the surface. What we instead do is we just treat ordinary three-dimensional space-time. So when we are doing that Fourier transform, it's basically in 3 dimensions. It's not on the surface of a sphere. And it's because what we see is the surface of a sphere. So we have to carry forward this math of the Fourier transform that we do on ordinary 3-dimensional space onto the surface of the sphere. So that's a different problem in math, but that is not what we do when we treat these fluctuations in the early universe. We don't treat them on a surface. We treat them as they are in 3-dimensional space. Working for about a year now, and I have learned a lot in this 1 year. So I guess the most important thing that I have learned doing research is that we are going to fail, and that is, it is okay to fail, but that should not bother you if you're doing research for the right reasons. Doing research is not to publish a ton of papers, but to enjoy what you're doing and to work on stuff that you really believe in. One of the other things that researchers all around the world do is read papers, and I too do that. And I'm trying to master the art of reading papers. And what I have found is helpful for me is when I read a paper, I try to get the big picture without burning myself out trying to figure out every single detail.
Researcher on Web is a very small attempt from our side to connect all such enthusiastic researchers from all around the world, and to show the world, to show everyone what is the importance of soulful research.